Everyone held their breath the moment he stepped into the church. The doors swung open, and there stood Ethan, in a tailored navy suit, calm smile, and a glance that seemed to say he already knew the story no one else did. Beside him, his fiancée Clara, radiant in white lace, her eyes shining with hope. The organ music paused, the crowd quieted, and in that silence, a single name echoed in Clara's mind that changed everything. Before we dive in, tell us, have you ever felt the ground shift beneath you at a moment you thought was perfect? Drop in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming stories. It was a crisp October afternoon when Clara first glimpsed Ethan waiting at the end of the aisle. Crisp leaves rustled outside the tall stained glass windows, the warm scent of autumn mixed with the soft perfume of orchids drifting through the foyer. Every step down the aisle felt rehearsed, safe, until the stranger appeared. A woman, barefoot, frail, a single clutch of faded wildflowers in her hand, stood at the back of the church. None of the guests recognized her. But Clara did. The bouquet she held matched the blooms from Clara's childhood garden, the same garden Ethan had whispered about. And in that moment, Clara's realized, this wasn't just a wedding. This was a reckoning. As Ethan reached her, his hand was steady. But Clara's? It trembled, because that woman, barefoot and silent, had arrived with a purpose. She walked toward Ethan's seat, paused, and leaned in with something unspoken. A memory, a secret, poised to unravel everything. And the smile on Ethan's face flipped the air electric. No one in that chapel suspected that the guest of honor was also the wild card. What she said that night at the altar would change every vow, every promise, and every plan they had made. Clara's froze as Stephen whispered something to the officiant. The congregation waited. The priest opened his mouth, and the stranger cleared her throat. The wedding that was meant to mark a beginning stopped time instead. Stay with us, because this isn't just a love story. It's a story of trust, of betrayal, of truth revealed when you least expect it, and of what happens when you pick up the pieces. Ethan Cole wasn't born into wealth. He was a small-town boy with a dream too big for the world he came from, and a heart that believed love could conquer anything. In those early years, when he and Clara West shared a single-bedroom apartment above a bakery, they thought they had it all: second-hand furniture, midnight ramen, and each other. He would stay up late sketching business ideas on napkins while Clara would tease him for dreaming too big. "One day," he'd say, "we won't have to worry about the rent notice on the door." And she'd laugh, kissing his forehead, saying, "As long as we have love, we'll be fine." But love, as Ethan would later learn, doesn't always survive the storm. When his company collapsed, so did everything else. Investors pulled out, debts piled high, and the dream they built together began to crumble. For weeks, he tried to hold it together, sold his car, pawned his watch, skipped meals so Clara could eat. But eventually, she stopped waiting up for him. The laughter that once filled their tiny kitchen turned into silence. Then one morning he woke to find her gone, her clothes missing, her side of the bed cold, and a note on the table that simply read, "I can't do this anymore. Love doesn't pay bills." Those words cut deeper than bankruptcy ever could, because Ethan didn't just lose his company that day, he lost the only person who made his struggle feel worth it. Months passed. He rebuilt, slowly, painfully. A friend loaned him money to start again. He studied harder, worked longer, slept less. Every contract he signed, every milestone he reached, carried one thought in the back of his mind: one day she'll see. And years later, she did. By the time Forbes called him a self-made billionaire, Ethan had learned to smile for the cameras and hide the scars success couldn't heal. But when that wedding invitation arrived, cream envelope, gold lettering, her name written beside another man's, the old ache returned. Clara West, Richard Hale. The man she thought Ethan would never become. a wealthy heir born into the privilege Ethan had clawed his way toward. And yet, it wasn't jealousy Ethan felt. It was emptiness. He thought he'd moved on. But seeing her name, feeling the weight of that invitation in his hand, it stirred something deeper. "Why now?" he whispered. "After all this time?" For a moment he almost believed she wanted closure. But as he reread the date and the venue, something didn't feel right. The wedding wasn't just a reunion. It was a stage, and Ethan was being invited to play a part he didn't audition for. Because hidden behind that wedding invitation was a plan meant to humiliate him. Before we go on, tell me, have you ever been betrayed by someone you once gave everything to? Someone who walked away the moment life got hard? How did it feel to see them smile again, as if nothing ever happened? Let us know your thoughts below, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next part of this story.